this, I don't know if you could see that, probably not. This says Cal Borst Content Creation. And on the back, it has my phone number, my Gmail, and then videography, photography, which I had no experience at the time in social media. So I think looking back on this, I always keep this in the back of my phone case, not really for any particular reason, because I thought I was like a hot shot and I had like business cards. But I think when I originally made this business card, when I originally thought that I had something at that time, I was very, very mistaken. I thought Cal Borst Content Creation was a legitimate thing. And I thought for a lot of times work was just going to fly to me. And I remember I had DM for videos and photos in my Instagram bio with a terrible portfolio on my Instagram. And let me tell you, I did not get one DM request, nor did I reach out to anybody ever. And so I think it's similar to when I talked about this in the past episode, when we got back, when we first started the business into the summer, and we thought our business was magically going to fly into the atmosphere and just take off and be huge. We never understood that we have to advertise our stuff, that we have to develop it on our own, that we have to reach out, we have to make CJ Media known, we have to make these requests. Not only that, but we have to deliver on what we're trying to sell. And so I think a lot of times when I had this Cal Borst Creation idea, like, yeah, I had videography skill at that point, but what I was lacking was people knowing about what I'm trying to sell. And to me, it's just like, it's so easy to fall back into the state that you believe you're worth so much more than you actually are. And you think that because you have a business card, you think because you have maybe even a website domain, or even a couple of amateur pieces in your portfolio that at the time you're very proud of, and I'm sure you worked very hard on. To me, that is a very complacent and limiting mindset, because if you only at that point, and you believe, you just don't understand why you're not at the point where you want to be, it's very much a victim mentality, because you think nothing is your fault. You think nothing that you're currently doing can be improved. And you think that there's nothing to be learned, when that could not be farther from the truth. Me with this business card with this Gmail on the back of it compared to CJ Media now, I mean, it's like night and day. It's a laughing stock. It's not even a comparison. And we're still struggling to get business. We're still struggling to get sales. But we're in a much better spot now because we know how to advertise. We have learned. We've taken that accountability. But for us to get to that next point, you and I experience this a lot, that kind of complacency, that kind of like, yeah, we're doing it right. And it's we don't feel that, oh, dang feeling where we need to improve things, because we're not surrounding and exposing ourselves with the necessary perspectives to help us improve. So when we expose ourselves to Alex Hormozi, his books, and other business perspectives, and we extend the goal and we up the standard, that's when we begin to improve, because there's a gap between where we currently are and where we want to go. And so just like with this business card, just like with that small scale videography company that you are currently satisfied with, but you don't understand why you're not getting the results you want, it's because your goals aren't high enough. It's because your standards aren't high enough. If you start to raise the standard, if you start to take that accountability and understand that there's a gap between where you are and where you need to go, it's just like that ignorance debt. You're paying it off every single day, and you don't know. But there is a way there because someone's done it before. And so I say that because it's very easy to, especially if you have all these quote-unquote stereotypical business check marks, such as like a website, business cards, a fancy website, and maybe your company with a polo shirt on it, doesn't mean you're doing things right. Maybe morally, according to the culture, But in actuality, if your goal is to, say, for instance, build a $100,000, $1 million business, it's just, you're not on the right path.
Nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking just call people and knock on doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Who gives a fuck about your
Yeah, exactly.
He's saying, I'm just thinking about Alex.
Yeah.
He's like, what'd you do today? Because he's telling us, like, I'm going to business today. Right, what'd you do? He's like, dude, I made that website way better.
I know.
No one's looking at your website.
I know, dude, like, I even...
If you have no clients, no one's looking at you. Go get a client.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was like me, and it's fascinating because I was just even a few weeks ago, I was sitting back, and it was actually, I think it was like literally last week, and I was planning on. I really saw a contrast between old Cal versus new Cal, because before I was like, oh, I can go update the website, I can watch an Alex Hormozi video, take notes on a Google Doc, define what leverage means, define what work means, and versus me from last week, I was starting to like organize my files, and like this is all good stuff, right? Down the line, like trying to get my stuff in a portfolio, and like it does need to be updated for sure. But I sat back and I was like, is this actually moving my needle? Like, what is the most productive thing that I can do right now that would move my needle? And what I realized is not what I was currently doing, not updating the website, not building a portfolio, not updating a portfolio. Of course, like all these things are important, right? But like the biggest thing that we need right now is to reach out more, to improve our product, to improve ourselves, learn more, right? Like, not to do all these, complete these check boxes. Yes, they need to be there, but they don't need to be more important than your product, more important than your service, more important than reaching out, more important than you building relationships, building rapport with others that's going to serve you in the long run, learning how to do contracts, learning how to communicate with others. Like there's so many more things that are important. I think people just easily fall back on what they want to do versus what they need to do. And there's a big difference there, because what you want to do is almost never what you need to do. And I love Chris Williamson's quote on this. He says, paraphrasing obviously, he says, the most growth, or the growth that you are looking for is in the stuff that you're avoiding. And
That's one of the things.
oh, okay, yeah, exactly.
The magic you're looking for is in the work.
The magic you're looking for is in the work the magic you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. And it's as simple as that. Fear is an inch thick and a mile wide. And you believe in your mind, just like I was talking about before, that it's this huge thing, and it's like this huge mental excuse that you need to get over. But at the end of the day, it's just it's like the whole thing of having like a morning routine and believing that is what is going to lead you to becoming a millionaire, becoming a super successful person, when you just need to do the work. It's not all these other things, all these other conditions that can help you work better. It's just doing the work. It's as simple as that. And then once you get over that hump of feeling like you need to work, right? Like getting ready to work, once you just start working, you're in the flow. And then you get into it. And then that's when you really get into the meat and potatoes of what you need to do. What you need to do will move your needle.